What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be tying a soft hackle. It's pretty much just a Partridge variant. I've had a lot of luck on this within the last couple of weeks in this red and another olive color. But I'm going to get a hook in the vise here and get going with the tutorial. So the hook I have in the vise right now is a Daiichi 1120 curved hook. It's kind of the scud type hooks. I really like these when I'm swinging soft hackles. I don't know why, I've always tied them on these, so I continue to do so. If I'm tying a soft hackle with a bead head, I will go to a wet fly hook or like a nymph hook type hook. But I like this curve, and I just think they look nice when they're swinging through the water. So it's all personal preference, and that's mine. The thread I'm going to be using is UTC 70 denier. This is in red. And we're going to start our thread about an eye length behind the eye. You don't want to crowd the eye too much on this fly. So you're just going to take a couple threads, cut off that tag, bring your thread down to about 3/4 on the hook. Now we're going to tie in our tail, and for tail, this is going to be a partridge feather, Hungarian partridge. And this right here, I try to get some white in it because the hackle that I'm going to be putting around the top, the wing section is white, so I want to kind of keep it the same. And this is just a bigger feather that I took out and used for my tail sections. And all I do is kind of pull off a little section just like that. Try to keep them as straight as possible. Just pull them down. And for a tail on this, what I like to usually do is just tie it in with one little loose wrap, like so. Then I will pull to my desired length. And with these soft hackles, I like to keep them a little bit shorter. I think they look a lot nicer when they're a little bit shorter. Just like that. Then I'm going to take my thread back up to my initial tie-in point. We're trying to keep these on top. So we're going to be starting a nice little tapered body here. Now you can cut these little guys out. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. Just like so. Our next material we're going to tie in is the rib. And this is just a Flashaboo. This is in an extra small size. I don't know the brand or anything. It's just Flashaboo I got. And I have a little piece. This is an extra small. And I have a little piece. Where'd it go? Here it is. I'm going to tie that in on my side of the hook. Just going to take that thread down to where our tail starts, bring it back up. We're trying to keep this all nice and smooth. Just like so. Now we're just going to get our Flashaboo, make open spiral wraps up the body. Tie that off. Just like so. Cut that out. And now what I do is I put a little whip finish in it. You don't have to, but I put a little 2 or 3 turn whip finish there. Because what I'm going to be doing next is making a body here that's a little bit more durable. What I like to do is put some thin UV clear fly finish on the body here. And what this does just makes it a lot more durable, and it kind of makes the flash pop a little bit. So I'm just going to put a little bit right there on top. Then you can get your bodkin, or in my case, an old sewing needle. Kind of just move that around there. While trying to keep it look all nice. Now you can hit that with the UV for about 10-15 seconds. And after this is cured, I'm going to flip it upside down and put a little bit on the bottom. You only need the littlest drop. It soaks right into the thread's really nice. Now we're just going to hit that with the UV. I'm blinding you guys. Sorry. Make sure that's all hard and cure. Now we can come back in with our thread and start the tie back in. Right about there. Cut it out. Now we're going to use a little bit of dubbing. This kind of just adds a little bit more flash and a prop for the hackle to kind of stay open on. And what I'm going to be using is ice dub, and this is in a claret color. And what I like to do with this is actually break it down into smaller pieces because I brush it out a little bit. So I want to keep it kind of short. So I just kind of keep it in my fingers, pull it apart, put it back together. And you want to build a very slender, tight noodle on this. And you don't need much either. It's really easy to overdub this. Just like that. Now what you can do is get your brush tool and kind of just brush that out just a bit. You don't have to brush it out that much, just a little bit, just like that. Gives it a little bit of a prop for the hackle to sit against. So now we're going to tie in our hackle section, and I have here is a partridge feather, and all I'm going to do is strip off these little fuzzies at the bottom. It's like so. So you have your feather. And now what I do is preen back these fibers. So I just pull them all back just like this. So it's like that. Now what I'm going to do right here is cut so it's a little triangle. Right there is going to be my tie-in anchor. So I can tie it in and it's not going to go anywhere. So I'm just going to tie that in nice and tight. Then I'm going to get my hackle pliers. If I can find them. And you can kind of keep this pretty sparse. You don't need to do too many wraps. You don't need to go overboard with it. What I like to do is while I'm turning, I like to just keep the fibers turned back. Get any ones that are caught out. This looks for a better fly once it's all done. So I did about 3 wraps there. Now I'm just going to bring my thread over, capture that feather, I'm going to make one more wrap. Then I can come in with my scissors, cut that little butt section out. Now I'm just going to lightly pull these fibers back. It's like so. Ideal length is pretty much when the feather's laying down, you want it to come to the back of the body, back of the hook area. You don't want it too much longer than that. And now what I'm going to do is just build up a nice little head. My whip finish tool here. These flies are pretty easy to tie. Once you get on a roll, you can get a bunch done quick. I'm just going to do 2 whip finishes here. Make sure that's not nice and tight. Cut that out. Now you can fish it right now. You can put some head cement on it. But what I like to do is put a little dab of this UV clear fly finish, the same stuff we use for the body. And what that's going to do is just soak down into the threads a bit and make sure nothing's going to come apart. UV light, cure that up for about 15 seconds. There you have it. Nice little soft hackle, awesome fly for swinging. That's pretty much all I use them for. Sometimes I nymph them, but for the most part, I'm swinging these and tail outs. And yeah, really nice fly. You can tie these in all different kinds of colors, orange, all black, all white. I have a couple olive ones that I use a lot, but I thought I'd tie this red one just because it's one of my go-to ones. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. If you have any questions about any of the materials that I used on this fly, just drop it down in the comments and I'll answer any questions. Hope everyone has a good night, and we'll see you in the next one.